Yo, what's going on guys? Core here. Welcome back to another video. Welcome to Misfits. This is episode 1 of season 1 of Misfits, and you may recognize that name, as do these peeps apparently. Misfits is a survival SMP which we've been wanting to do for so long now, and as you can tell we've already made quite a bit of progress before I started recording. I really just wanted to get all the boring bits out of the way so that we could start on some interesting bits. But as you can tell by my armor and everything else, I've been playing this for quite a while. In fact, I have now been on this world for 2.34 days, so a little over 48 hours now. And we're making absolutely amazing progress, what can I really say? Now you may notice in the background up there we've got our current base, and I am trying to move everything down to over here, which is where my actual base is going to be. As you may be able to tell by the signature core gamer cliff that is happening here. I can't help myself, it's a bit of an addiction at this point. I love cliffs. So then, I may as well show you the current base that we have got. It is an absolute disgrace, as you can tell. Classic me, really. I just do everything very functionally instead of how it's meant to look. So this is all very practical, but it is very ugly, as you're about to see. So what we've got up here is we've got my storage area and portal. A little bit of crafting stuff over here too. I had my villagers over here, but I have moved them into a trading hall just over here. Now these villagers are causing a slight problem, which is why I've got all this lava down. And when I say a slight problem, there are around like 90 golems over there now. It's pretty crazy. Anyway, what's going on then right now in this world is I need to move all of my stuff. So I've got this storage area here. Inside here, I've got a ton of villagers. These all need to be moved, which is why I'm gathering obsidian, because I'm going to move them through the nether. And then, yeah. So, if you don't know what I like to do on survival SMPs like this, and it feels so wrong to be able to move this fast, that's thanks to the swift sneak on there. If you don't know what I do on these servers, I traditionally am the bookman. So these guys are fueling this thing over here. So this is my bookshop, and it is one of the first shops to be constructed on the server, closely followed by a couple other ones over here, such as this one. Not really sure what it's going to be selling. This one and this weird notice board thing. I don't know what anything really is except for my bookshop at the moment, but I'm going to speak to the other misfits and see what's going on. So inside here, you may recognize this build from previous seasons, by the way. I've decided that the other seasons were too short, so I may as well use the same design, otherwise it wouldn't be shown that much. So if we go inside, you'll see that early on in the season, I've made my best efforts to really sort of get all of these books out and about and everything nicely stocked up. We've got basically all of the books that you require at the start of the game, all the fancy ones like Bane of Arthropods, for example, and the really obscure ones. They're not going to be in just yet. Also, that's a really cool mushroom. I'm not going to get those yet. I'm just going to focus on the essential enchantments at first. But in time, we'll get all of the enchantments in that shop. So if we want to talk about the server then, I haven't really got that much progress than it actually looks. So I've got the bookshop, I've got my base, which is an absolute mess, and I have fallen into a hole. And that's really it. I don't have that much going on. So today I'm really hoping that I'll be able to get done all of that moving. We're going to be moving down into that jungle area because of the grass colour. That is literally it. I was planning to build up in that desert mountain, except the grass is like a horrible browny yellow color, and that's not that great looking. So instead I've decided we're going to build in the jungle. So yeah, that is all I really have got going on in this world at the moment. So in order to cut out a lot of the boring parts, I have just skipped to this point right now. And this is where I'm going to start this series. If you do like this series, be sure to show that by liking the video and subscribing, maybe leaving a comment, and I'll make this a long-term series. If it doesn't get that much love, then chances are it will probably just be something that I stream instead of record. But if you want to see the recordings, do let me know, and we'll see about doing that sort of permanently. Okay, so that should be sufficient. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to get all of my villagers out of the trading hall down to where I need to be working with them. I'm going to get them in this hole and seal them up, and then I'm going to build a trading hall and get them in. So it's like a multi-step process, and I don't really see anything that could go wrong. I'm going to link up these portals, and I'll be back in a moment. So in theory, this new portal here should link up with the new base, and this one links up with the old base. And I do need to move the old base portal in the overworld side, so we'll do that in a moment, but should see that this links up to our nice glass box here, which indeed it does. So then going back the other way, this should go to our new portal, it does, and then this one should go back to the old base. Not great, exactly. You know, I don't think the other portal's linked up properly, so you know what, we're going to delete that. So now we've got to move this portal here and link this up properly. I mean, they don't have to be perfect, but it's going to make it very easy for us if we can get these linked up properly. So the new portal, I think, is just going to sit here. Alright then, so in a moment, we should be all ready to get these villagers on through here. So I'm going to make sure this links up correctly to our new portal. And then, yeah, we're going to open this door and we're going to let them all through. And they should all end up in that nice little glass box over yonder. So for some reason the portal came up way too high when I went through there. It's generated at Y level 88, which is understandable. I mean, the portal is that high in the overworld, and it probably wants to generate it somewhere up here. But we're actually after it being somewhere down here. Somewhere around minus 30 would be really good. So the old portal was here. I'm going to block that up though. And the new portal needs to go at these coordinates. So these should be the new coordinates. And if we just dig this out here, and that should link up to the old base. Now this path makes a bit of a horseshoe shape. As you can see, it goes back around this way. So instead of doing all that, I'm just going to cut through here and fingers crossed, it'll be nice and easy for us. So I'm going to tidy this tunnel up, make sure the villagers can't get in any weird places. And that should be good, really. One thing I am going to do is I'm going to create a little trench in the floor so that the villagers can only go one way. Only towards the new base. Wait. No, that's the wrong way, isn't it? Only towards the new base. Confused myself. So this should link up to the old base now, I think. And it does, which is great. So we're now going to let them all through, and fingers crossed we have nothing go wrong. So that is all villagers without workstations now. Fingers crossed pretty soon they will all pathfind towards the portal. And these guys are really difficult not to hit. I'm not doing that on purpose or anything, but it's very hard. I am questioning whether to just open up this, as if they'll think they can pathfind through, maybe. Oh yeah, that works a treat. Now this could get chaotic on the other side. I don't know what's happening. But good news is whenever an entity goes through, it will load it for, I think, 3 or 4 seconds. This is the last one now. Come on. Just needs to go. There we go. All villagers successfully moved. And here they all are. There's about 30 of them, if you can tell by the F3 screen there, in top right, top left even. So that's kind of like the hard part out of the way now. I just need to get this portal unlinked, because any mobs that come through here are just going to end up in with the villagers, which may cause some problems. So for now, that is my solution. So now that we've got all of these pretty fellas behind us, all moved through, we need to start moving the actual build itself, the trading hall. So let's get right to it. Interesting that the golems have all migrated over this way. I wonder why that is. Why could that actually be? Oh, because there's villagers up here, of course. Hold on then, I'm going to go and sort this problem out once and for all. I am in the middle of tearing this down, as you can see. But I need to sort the golems out whilst I like this, because I feel like this is my only chance right now. So I'm going to quickly do this, and then we'll get back to tearing this thing down. Hopefully that will get the majority of them. I can move it about, and we'll see about doing that. But for now, this should be effective. There's a couple things I can learn from this. I need to take the proper measures when making villager-related anything, because the golem problem, it really is a problem. I never realized this before, but these golems are a real problem. Like, they stack up, they don't look pretty, they may actually be causing the server some lag, which I'm not aware of, but for the most part, they're just a problem. I'm hoping now though that will be most of the iron golems that are gone, and hopefully no more really spawn, or at least all that much. I've seen my fair share of golems on the server, and I must have killed about 40 of them this season alone. It's pretty crazy. Anyway, back to destruction. I guess there's something else which I've learned as well from making a base in the desert. And that is not to make a base in the desert. I mean, if you can pull off the aesthetic of working in a desert, then do it. But the aesthetic I'm going for this season is going to be very modern, very futuristic. Almost hyper-futuristic, hyper-modern. That doesn't really work with these colors. Like, if you look over there at those leaves and that grass, it's not a great color. It looks malnutritioned, in fact. It looks dry and gross, and in an environment where we're going to be culturing moss and other such things, you'll see in the base in the future, because I have plans to do all this sort of stuff. That doesn't really work. We want everything to look really luscious, really healthy, and you know. Right, that is everything for the most part. I'm actually going to leave these chests here for now, because I need to bring some with me anyway, and these I think are full with a lot of different things. So I don't fancy moving all that right now. I've got quite a full inventory, so I'm simply just going to leave this here, and I'll make some new chests. So for the new location for this trading hall, it's a little bit hard to decide, because we've got like a large area to work with here, but I'd like all of my buildings to be pretty close to the shore. So if we just take an aerial view of this place real quick, you'll see that we've got quite a large area to work with, and already we've got the bee farm that's going to be in this area. I think the villagers are going to be here, so the bee farm is actually going to have to be shifted over a little bit, which means that I think here will be pretty perfect for the villagers, and then the rest of the space is going to be filled. So the height of the cliff is probably going to be around that layer there, which should be around Y70 or something, Y80 possibly, and it will go all the way around, and then it will slope down, I think, towards the end. But yeah, I think we'll start with the villagers over here then, and we may drain this area. We'll have to see how it goes though. So while I'm building this, I may as well explain something. I did mention I was building my base on top of a cliff, except there's not much of a cliff here, and I said it would go to about Y80 as well, and I'm building this underground. So my base is going to be up there, that is right. There's going to be pathways, there's going to be buildings and whatnot, but everything that's going to take up a lot of space like this will probably go underground. So this thing will take up potentially like a 30 by 30 area, maybe even 40 by 40, and that's a little big for the surface. So I'm just going to have a simple little building up there with a bubble elevator that will take us down and plonk us right in this little trading hall. It's that simple, really. So things that are going to be going under here are going to be like big farms. So we've got the villager trading hall that will be down here. We've got the bee farm, and we've got the storage room as well. I think I'm going to put the storage room down here. Haven't quite decided on that part specifically yet, but I'm pretty sure. So I've just gone to gather some cocoa beans from this jungle here, and I'm realizing slowly that I am running out of them. Like, I'm not replanting them, so I'm eventually going to end up running out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plant some here, And in the future, we will create a big one. A big cocoa bean farm. For now, though, I would imagine that is probably enough. And that gets us 30 carpets, which is enough to finish this room. Which is very nice. Right, I'm not going to move my camera from here because you see nothing. It may or may not have been the correct amount. We're missing like 14 carpets there. It's tough is all. There's a lot of carpets that we've got to collect here. I honestly may end up just asking people if I can buy carpets. Okay, that is pretty much this room done. We just need those 14 carpets, and then we are basically ready to get the villagers into place. So next will be the very painful task where I have to separate all of the librarians in here from the farmers, the blackstone guys, and the armor smiths, everything. We need to get the librarians out, okay? Okay, we've got this. Now that is a lot of librarians. We've also got this guy, which is a toolsmith. I think he's on a smithing table. So if we can, we need to kind of separate him out. I'm gonna have to use water in a sec. These guys are not budging. Like, they just keep wanting to go back to this corner, and I don't understand it. Okay, I'm gonna leave this area. These villagers literally deserve to die.
Approximately 10 hours later.
This episode was recorded in a very weird order, so please don't get mad at me. But anyway, I got very fed up with the villagers. They just didn't do what I needed them to do. It got to the point where I had to get away from the computer for about 4 hours just because they were for some reason they were broken. Anyway, after a long break, I came back. They finally worked, and yeah. So now, to spice it up a little bit, let's work on that cliff, which I think I've mentioned a couple times in this video. So the idea for my base this season is that I would like to live on a cliff. Now, it's not just any old cliff, it's going to be one of my classic cliffs. If you've not watched my content before, then you won't know what I'm on about, but if you have, by the off chance, seen anything, whether it be Twitch or YouTube, whatever, I am the cliff man. So let's get straight into it. And I'm sure you'll see what I mean. Grab a drink, grab some popcorn, sit back and relax. Enjoy! So guys, I hope you enjoyed that time lapse. The place is looking absolutely incredible now, if I do say so myself. I'm not really one to ever blow my own trumpet, but with exception here, I can say that this is something I am quite proud of. So what we've got here is we've got the ground foundations now for a desert island. I'd like to have a little building on here. It can be maybe a little hotel, little resort. Some beach lounges. I don't know what they're called. Just call them lounges. Maybe an umbrella or two, and then we'll see about having maybe like a campfire or something here. But this isn't the important part to me. The important part is actually going to be over here under the water. Now, this is going to be one of the hardest things I've ever done. It's really hard to get anything sand-wise terraformed. I've never done this before, so I can say that this is my hardest try, my most effortful try. Now, this is weird terraforming because obviously we have got a beautiful coral reef here, and I think it adds quite a lot of character to the base. So I think you can probably tell where this is going. I would really like to move all of this coral reef up by how many blocks it takes to get it up here with the sand below. Now, if we are to look at the overall shape of this, then it should look something like this. So all I've done is I've put a line in, imagine the sand on top of that, but it's sort of like how I would like it to be. We may end up moving this entire island back because now that I've gotten rid of the mountain, I can sort of get the feel that this may be a bit too close. But yeah, in terms of the time-lapse work, I'm pretty pleased with what we've done. This is actually probably 6 hours worth of work that was done, or time-lapse total for this video was about 6 hours. I'm not going to lie. It's a lot of work. So if you do enjoy the content, like you said earlier in the video, do be sure to show that with a like or a comment. It really sort of helps me out figuring out what people want to see. But now, as I mentioned, this video, it's a bit of a jumble. So now we're going to go and work on the shop in the shopping district. So we talked earlier about our bookshop. It's going to be the moneymaker for us. Now, at the time of recording this, that bookshop has been around for probably about 5 weeks now. So it's about time we get an expansion on that thing, so we've got room to sell some other books. Alright then everyone, I hope you enjoyed that time-lapse. It was a really good one, and if you have noticed, it is now October 1st. Woohoo!
This episode was recorded in a very weird order.
I get to use my Halloween skin. So, in between days here this episode has taken, I have been working on an expansion for the bookshop, and me and Haley have been really busy gathering the resources to create this, as you can see in here. And this expansion is going to knock through this wall here, and we've got some more barrels here that we can use. So yeah, we're going to get into yet another time-lapse, very quick one this time. So yeah, sit back, grab another drink and some more popcorn, and let's get into it. So guys, I hope you enjoyed. That probably is like the third time-lapse in this video. It's a bit crazy, but I've got to say I do enjoy making the time-lapses. I think they are one of the best forms of media that I can possibly put out there. They're just so good. It's a good representation as well of what happens during like a longer period. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. It was a blast to create, and obviously this was all designed in a creative world. Aside from this, it's not all done just yet. We've still got some things to gather. I think we've got a blue book at the end here. We're obviously out of orange. But you can sort of get the feel of the shop itself. Now, we'll come back off camera and finish this up. But yeah, I'm going to go inside and I'm going to show you what's what. So again, unfinished. We're going to have some trapdoors and some stairs around here. It should actually look like this. But we'll see. So through here then we've got a nice little room. Could probably do some lighting in here. I mean, nothing's going to spawn because it is a mushroom island, but it isn't the prettiest. So you may ask what this is actually for. Now this part of the shop is going to just be an expansion point. So the room that we've got up in the main shop over here, it's not enough. Like, we've got the basic books in and we've pretty much filled every barrel. Featherfallen's in there. That shouldn't be Featherfallen. We've got all of the protections up on this wall, so we should have protection, blast prot, maybe projectile prot, and fire prot. But then you can see we've filled up most of the barrels. In fact, all of the barrels in space. I think we've got 2 up here. But for the most part, we're out. So this expansion adds 10 barrels on this wall and then an extra 2 here. We've got room for more, obviously. But the expansion is desperate. We really needed to do this expansion. Otherwise, we can't fit more books in. And that was one of the points. No matter how obscure the book was, I wanted to sell it here in the shop. Now, we have got some room in the walls. I probably shouldn't show this on camera, but I'm sure all the misfits will just respect the privacy here and stay out. However, we've got some room here for potential storage of stock and whatnot. Oh yeah, and this is a redstone door as well. It doesn't look like it, but there is a little bit of redstone that makes it so that when you step on a pressure plate, when you step on a pressure plate, it opens both the doors, which is super handy. It means that if you were to walk at it at a weird angle, you're not going to get caught on one door and have an awkward time. No, the door's going to both open. I mean, if you were a normal person anyway, you might come approach it from the middle. But shush. Anyway, everyone, that's probably going to be it for today. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button and show your love in the comments section. And we'll see about making an episode 2 if this gets some good responses. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye!